Terrible way to make the front page of the USA Today, but their accident actually was on the front page. They were in a 500-acre park, and
I had to go one way, the kids went the other way. They were going to meet back up, and it was in the fall, and there was brush along the path, and the path kind of was along the side of a very steep drop-off. It was like a cliff.
One of the girls that I was with, she ended up slipping down, and she fell off a 75-foot cliff. So I saw her laying down there, and that's when I decided to kind of go down and help her out, make sure she was all right.
And one of my brothers wanted to go down and try and help her, and he fell.
I saw them both laying down there. They both were face down, unconscious, so I tried to find a different way down. I too fell down then. It was 75 feet.
So now there's, at the bottom of this cliff, 3 kids that 2 of them are unconscious, and one of them is really dazed and out of it. And
so I was down there for about 15 minutes before I woke up, and I see Spencer right beside me, giant gash in his leg, just bleeding. You could actually see his femur. I had a brain injury. I ended up getting a tree branch impaled in my leg, and I pulverized 3 toes.
They're lucky to be alive.
They both were homeschooled for a while, and that summer was the very summer that I was coming home and rehabbing from knee surgery, and CrossFit was something we all started to get into that summer, and we used it as a form of rehab, not just physically, but I think mentally and emotionally as well. The accident definitely brought us together as a family.
That accident just opened up, I don't know what we'd be doing if that accident never happened. I mean, everything, you think something bad happens, the world's coming to an end, but it actually ended up leading to something way better than I expected.
Look at some of the tragedies in life, but you look at what it's brought you to, and I really think that tragedy brought us to where we are today with CrossFit Mentality. My training partners are my twin brothers, Saxon and Spencer, and they qualified for early graduation, so I get to work with them all throughout the day.
I'll start with my brother Spence, twin. We're always being compared to each other, no matter what.
But when we both compete in CrossFit, we each have different strengths and weaknesses. He tends to like the more cardio-based stuff. I like the more strength.
We just try and keep the spirits high in here. There's days where it's kind of like we'll smack talk each other, kind of fire each other up, especially on running days, just because we're all so close on that. So there's always some smack talk going on in between intervals when we're running, which will get intense just because that makes the next person just push that much harder to win.
We are always talking smack to each other, just rubbing it in because we're trying to just get each other fired up for the next workout.
Talk a little smack before we work out, and then there's been some times mid-workout or even at the end of workouts where things have gotten a little heated. That's just brothers, just having fun and being competitive. We can't even play board games at our house because my family's so competitive, it's ridiculous.
Whenever he, in 2012 when he first did the Open, we were just like, what's the Open? Like, we started CrossFit and we didn't know much that there was a games or regionals, and he's like, I'm gonna do the Open. We're like, what's the Open? And then he ended up taking first in the burpee workout. We're like, oh, he's actually pretty good. And then we saw him just keep moving on, and seeing the first experience at regional, seeing him compete, I'm just like, I want to go here. And then at the games, I'm just like, definitely, this is definitely one of my goals, is where I want to be when I get older.
Starting last year, I finished 90th in the Open. Being in that top 100 meant a lot to me, just being my first year ever competing in the Open. But after last year, that's where I was kind of like, I want to take this serious, that this is what I want to do. And my brother and my mom bust into my room freaking out, saying that I made it, which that really kind of hit me there, that I could go to the regional, one of the hardest regions to get into, and be up there with my brother competing next to him.
They definitely aren't your typical 18-year-olds. They really have their priorities straight, and they're just two of the most hardworking kids I've ever met. I tell people that all the time. To come in here every day and put in the time and the effort that they put forth is remarkable. They're not out late on the weekends partying or getting into trouble. I tell them sometimes, like, go out and get into trouble, but not too much. But they just really have their priorities straight. They know what they want to do. They have goals, and they're doing everything they can to reach them. And I think that's a big reason why they've been so successful so young. And both of them are doing things that I was doing at 23 at 18.